Amend the Mass Media Group is California Capital's premier YouTube channel focused on reparations, dedicated to political advocacy and apologetically aimed at shining a spotlight on our righteous justice claim for reparations.
Bizarre incident unfolded on Highway 101 this afternoon. This is near Highway 92 in San Mateo, and it shut down multiple lanes of traffic, as you can see right there. It's not clear what led up to this, but police surrounded a dump truck on the freeway with a man there who'd gotten out. He climbed on top of a pile. It was maybe gravel or asphalt in the back, and for a moment it looked like he was going to give up and surrender, and then it appeared he started throwing whatever was in the back of the truck at the police officers. They moved in and arrested him. He was then taken away on a stretcher.
Okay, and then just one more question, and
Yes, ma'am.
For this, I had to step out for a second. So your leg got mangled from the hot rocks or whatever we're calling it, asphalt?
Asphalt, yes, ma'am. Well, not just from that, but actually from them. Like when you see me under that pile, I don't know. Can you see the screen right now, Kim?
I can.
Okay, so I'm under all those officers right there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so under that pile, they are really like a dog pounding me. Like I'm getting hit in the ribs. I'm there. One of them was taking my shoe off. I was I had my hands. I don't know if you can see my screen, but I had my hands like this, and I was already had one cuff on one hand, which I knew they were going to try to say I would be used as a weapon. And I try to keep my hands like this. I mean, I don't know how I survived that part. I thought right there, I'm thinking to myself, one of them's going to say I tried to grab his gun, and then they're going to try to shoot me in the head. And so I put my hands in here like this. And I mean, all I was saying was, help me, Saint Betty. Help me, Saint Betty. Help me, Saint Betty. And, ultimately, one of the officers reached and put the cuff on my other hand. And I guess he said I got him or something. And then from there, all the officers left. And two, I don't know which two, to be honest with you, drugged me out. Just try to drug me out. One of my shoes was off. They drugged me over that. And that's how I really mangled and injured my leg. And then, like I said, they ultimately at the top of that pile tried to drop my private parts in the top of there and tried to, ultimately castrate me. But they missed.
Clothed? Were you?
I was clothed. Of course, I was clothed. Kim, what kind of question is that?
I mean, I don't know how they would drop your private parts in clothes, but just that area, but closed.
I had sweats on. That's a good question too. But I was just trying to say I definitely wasn't running naked on the freeway as they
No,
were
I
trying to
just
say.
was wondering if perhaps you got disrobed in all the melee or something like that.
Well, my shoe came off. I was disrobed with my shoe, so that's one of the places that was disrobed. And also, I had sweats on, so they weren't jeans. And if I would have had jeans on, it may have been different. But I had and shout out to Hood Forbes, young talented company out of East Palo Alto. I had their apparel on that day, include their sweats on that day, and a Royal Bloodline T-shirt, which you see the Royal Bloodline here and here on my hat, the Royal Bloodline insignia of the Broken Chains.
Okay, so and let me know if this assessment seems accurate. So it's not just the touching of the asphalt that causes the burns and the mangling, but the dragging on the hot substance that caused the
Oh
mangling.
yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
at one point, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but you said that when they put the cuffs on you, and this was in our original interview on Tuesday, that when they
Okay.
put the cuffs on you in the front, that kind of saved you because you were able to kind of brace yourself,
It
instead
did.
of going
It did.
fully into
It
the
did.
substance. So when you braced yourself, didn't you have to touch the asphalt when you were bracing yourself?
Well, I definitely did have to touch the asphalt, but it was more like a quick punch. You know what I mean? It wasn't, I wasn't trying to stay on the asphalt and just hold it, but it's more like just a quick punch to get me back up on my knees. You follow me? You
Yeah,
understand?
right.
As if you were to touch a pan on sometimes you grab a pan without a thing because you think it's not too hot, but you make sure you got to feel it for how long before something's going to burn you, right?
Hmm.
Do you follow me?
Yeah.
Because it was more like it was a quick bop, just trying to, oh my God, to save my genitalia. Ultimately,
Hmm.
it wasn't like I, gave it and I think you'll see that in our other venue. I actually made the motion of it was a quick like that, not a keep my hands in the area thing.
Right. So it was the keeping your leg in the area and dragging your leg through the substance.
Dragging my leg across it that really got it. Yes,
Oh,
dragging like you got me up by my shoulders and my armpits and my first part, and then you drag my leg right there. And then what I mean, like ultimately, is it was like actually like a little mound. That's how I know it was purposeful. Because right where like my genitalia was, it was like a little mound of, hard. You couldn't grab this stuff. That's what I mean by you couldn't grab it. If there was a little mound there, it was hard. And so
mm,
they dragged me. I see it coming. I mean, like they said, I was kind of out, but I was in. You know what I mean? Like I was out, but I came back. Like I got to save my life type of thing. And uh, and when I saw that little bump that they were trying to drag me across and really just drop my genitals in, I just hit the asphalt and bow and just got up off it like that and let them continue to drag. Do you
okay.
follow me? I'm trying to,
No,
it like I said.
That explains my line of questioning. So thank you for the clarification.
Yes, ma'am. I mean, and Kim, I just want to let you know, like for me, this has been a traumatic experience. Like
Hmm.
I remember, flashes and key details because this happened to me on March 23rd, 2021. And, I'll never forget the details. But
Hmm.
there's stuff that like I can't even really get into that was going on out there. That,
Hmm.
like the stuff that was right in my mind that, just trying to stay alive, my ultimate way to just try to stay alive. And then I just remember that because like I still, when after this all happened, it wasn't just my leg that was hurt, but I literally had to lay in a bed and I couldn't, scooch myself up to get out of the bed because of the burns on my buttocks area.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay, and I just got one more question, and then we could wrap it up.
Sure.
So after they got you in custody, from what you recall, what transpired? I'm just curious, like what transpired after, because they mentioned about you going in some kind of fire truck or something. I mean, what happened after? What do you recall after they detained you?
Well, after it was, I mean, it was for me. It's been even worse afterwards, which is crazy for them to try to say I was suicidal then, because I'm not suicidal now, and I've been through all that they put me through. But afterwards, they took me to the hospital. Like I said, I mean, it was needle after needle, man, going in my stomach.
Well,
One of the nurses there. Go ahead.
Emmanuel, can we go back to after
Go
they
ahead.
detained you? Like, did you go in a police car? Did you go into an ambulance?
I
Like,
went
what
in an
happened?
ambulance. I went in an
Okay,
ambulance to
all
the
right.
hospital.
Okay, so you went into the ambulance.
Yeah. And in the ambulance, I didn't trust any of them. So I was flailing around in there too, and I was just out of my, I was out of my body, like I just figured this was honestly a hit. You saw the commercial the other day, my governor's commercial. I felt like it, I just felt like it was a hit. I felt like, they tried to kill a candidate, and so I just wasn't receptive to anyone that would help me that had the colors of their team on. Do you follow me?
Yeah. Okay. So when you went from the ambulance, then to
San
where? So you
Mateo
went
County
to
Hospital.
the hospital, and then what happened at the hospital,
At the hospital, they
from what you
they
recall?
they take you to a room.
Hmm.
LaRock comes in, the room. First off, the nurses come in. They drug me. They put needles in my stomach, probably my arm, but I just really remember the ones going in my stomach. There's just a lot of stuff going on. LaRock comes in as soon as the nurse come out, gun on hip, questioning me about the incident. His partner came out. I forgot his name. I'll get it to you later. I have it in transcripts. Um, but I forgot his name off the top of my head. But his partner came in and he starts asking me other things too, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? He's like, man, if you had a gas can, I don't even think they knew I ran out of gas until I actually told them then. Because when he did say that, he was like, yeah, man, if you had a gas can, I was thinking to myself, like, F you, man. Like, I know it was way more than that going on, and I can't really say anything or do anything here. And so then they kept me there for 3 days without a phone call. My lawyer, actually, at the time, my family, actually, to be honest with you, my family, my real family, I don't want to mention any names,
Well,
but
yeah,
my
yeah. I mean,
family,
and we
go
don't have
ahead.
to get into the super details. I just kind of want to know, just kind of in general, like like where you were like being transferred in the process, so that
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't transferred. They held me. Like, they held me in the hospital, no phone
okay.
call. I have a right to a phone call, no phone call for, 3 days. My lawyer ended up calling me because my family that saw this actual news thing that you're doing, the news
Hmm.
ABC coverage, they seen it on TV and they was like, that's our family. So a lot of people from the community came up there to try to check on me. They wouldn't let anybody see me.
And
So
so
ultimately, go ahead.
at this point, you're still in the hospital, is what you're saying
Yeah,
at this
yeah.
point. Okay.
And
So
then
did they ever book you, or did you ever
they
have to
did
go to the station? Okay, like so after, so when
three
did
days.
you go? Okay, so you were in the hospital for 3 days, and then they took
They
you to
booked
the
me.
station to book you. Okay, and did
Yeah.
you ever have to spend any time in jail, or did they release you after that?
Well, I mean, going into jail is never a good thing. You got to bend over and cough twice and all that old other stuff, and it's humiliating. But I spent time in there. I mean, when I went there, they were trying to play with the phones, act like the phones don't work, so I can't call a lawyer. But luckily for me, my lawyer had already taken care of all the stuff because, like I said, my family had called her. And so I just bailed out. But yeah, if I wouldn't have had the money to bail out, I'd still be in there.
Wow. Okay. All right, man. Yeah, I didn't want to get into, the super details. I just wanted just to understand, like, from what we can see on the screen, from what happened
Yeah,
to there until when they booked you and you were, in jail and then you got released. Okay. Yeah, that's cool, bro.
yeah.
Appreciate
But
that.
listen, brother Umoye, please get into the details. The devil is in the details. So don't. I want you to. I want the truth, man. That's all I need out of this is the truth. And that'll set me free because I'm not. Like the Bible said, the truth will set you free. And I just, like I said, man, I'm the victim here. And I hate using that word because to my people, but no one's gonna fight harder for me than my people. As you see me, even if I ain't got nothing to throw, I'm gonna try to act like I got something to throw. I'm.
Gotcha.
I love my people, and I don't want anybody to ever have to go through this again. And I've been saying this since Trayvon got killed, since Corinne Gaines got killed. Nobody ever remembers Corinne Gaines anymore. Philando Castile, Mike Brown, Ahmaud Arbery. The list just keeps growing. And I was asking somebody this the other day. I said, the only thing that stayed constant through this reparations movement while we wait on this check is the loss that everyone is experiencing. Everyone in our group has experienced a loss of loved ones. Some of them taken away by the police. And I've always known that this was a corrupt and dirty system. And they'll try to hunt you down, but it just makes the case. I didn't know they'd try to hunt you down like this. Like you run out of gas, you end up with this shit, with this situation. And at the end of the day, they say, okay, this is the footage we're going to release to try to prove you're a crazy man. If I would have got hit by a car in any one of those lanes passing by, or if that Mack truck wouldn't have stopped, they'd have just said it was a crazy black man died on the freeway today. That would have been the end of the story. Nothing about the theory of black cohesion, nothing about the reparations movement, nothing about Manny Smith for governor, nothing about Dr. Betty Jo Smith, the first black woman doctor at Stanford who cured cancer. None of that. It would have just been a black. And so, like I said, I thank God for saving me for that day. And so I can continue to fight. And then, like I said, if you really want the real story, because it's not my legacy they're trying to kill. I have no children. It's my mother's legacy they're trying to kill. And if you go to 50 in Antioch, and ask to see my mother, Dr. Betty Jo Smith, you'll see for yourself what's going on.
All right, brother. Well,
this is bigger than this incident on the freeway.
For sure, man. Well, thank you for your time, bro. We're going ahead and stop the recording here.